What if I told you a guy once lived in a box for 44 days over a river in London without any food? Well, it actually happened. In 2003, David Blaine did something that still feels unreal today. He climbed into a clear plexiglass box suspended about 30 feet above the rivers in London and stayed there for 44 days. No food, no meals, no snacks hidden away anywhere, just water fed to him in a tube. This stunt was called Above the Below, and for more than a month, Blaine lived in full public view. Everybody saw this. There was people that would walk every day to their work and see him hanging there in the box. Tourists stopped to stare. There was some people that cheered him on. There was even some hecklers. There was one guy that even tried throwing some food up to him, tried to hit the box just to mess with him. But here's the thing about David Blaine that makes it interesting and makes it fascinating. He's not a ta-da magician. He's not a big stage illusion magician with big boxes and, cute, sexy assistants. That's not him. Blaine's entire persona is built around real danger, real endurance, and makes you constantly ask the question, is this really happening or am I being fooled? With magic, there's always a trick. There's always, oh, okay, cool, that was awesome. Let's figure it out how it's done. There's a trap door, there's smoke and mirrors, there's something. But with him, it's completely different. So naturally, after a few days, people started questioning, is there secret food hidden in the box? Is, the water that he's getting fed through the tube secretly nutrient rich? Is this just a very clever illusion stretched out over 44 days? Because 44 days is very random. I don't think he's like planning this trick. Okay, we're gonna do it for 44 days and no, I think that just was his breaking point. But this is where it gets serious and where all the skeptics start to skepticize themselves. The doctors were there. They were involved. There was medical professionals that monitored his vitals through the stunt. By the end of the 44 days, Blaine lost over 50 pounds. His heart rate dropped to unbelievably dangerous levels. His coordination was shot. And when the box finally opened, he couldn't even stand. He was struggling. This was the human body shutting down. Now, if you look at his entire career, it's really less about tricks and more so about testing what the human body can endure and how it can survive. He's been buried alive, frozen in ice for over 60 hours, held his breath underwater for over 17 minutes, and every single time people ask the same question, is this really happening? And that's where Blaine lives, in the constant state of, is this an illusion or is this reality? He even had a special, I think it was like 10 years ago, it was called Real or Magic. When the guy sticks a needle through his hand, you look at it first and you're like, okay, it's a prosthetic hand, there's skin somewhere, it's a fake needle, and then 5 seconds later the needle's still in his damn hand, and you think, I think he just put the needle in his hand. I think he's doing it. And that's what Blaine wants you to ask constantly. He wants you to question, is this really happening? He wants you to look for the trick. He wants skepticism. Through that, I think people, after a while, it turns into respect. You start to respect the fact that this guy's enduring all this pain and discomfort. Standing in that box wasn't about impressing you. It was about you confronting something that's really unsettling, that the human body and the human mind can endure way more than what you're comfortable admitting. Maybe that is the real magic. Not that David Blaine stood in a box for 44 days without food, but the fact that millions of people watched and couldn't look away.